Caitlin Clark said, "No layups in my house," and sent Angel Reese flying like it was a Southwest commercial. That flop had Academy Award winner written all over it. But the refs really looked at that and said, "Yep, that's definitely murder," and gave Caitlin a flagrant like she pulled a knife out mid-play. And Angel tried to run up on her and said, "You're crazy as fuck, what the fuck are you doing?" And Caitlin's all like, "This is just basketball. It's either a layup or free throws. Pick one."
It's just a good take foul, you know? If either Angel gets wide open 2 points or, we send him to the free throw line. Nothing malicious about it. It's just a good take foul. Every basketball player knows that.
And just like that, Caitlin Clark dropped a triple-double, won by 35.
Angel Reese didn't just get benched. She got sat down in front of the whole world. And no, this wasn't some routine give the starters a breather type of moment. This was the kind of benching that had fans looking at the coach like, wait, what just happened? But Angel, she didn't sulk. She flipped the script and went into full savage mode. What she did next had reporters stunned, fans in shock, and even the Gatorade bottles on edge. It wasn't just a reaction, it was a full-blown mic drop. Loud, flashy, and dripping with attitude. And trust me, what came after? You're not ready. Buckle up.
Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever is currently putting the beats on the Chicago sky, and I'm telling you right now, Angel Reese is furious because she wants to make it her business to beat Caitlin Clark this year, and I'm telling you right now,
Angel Reese got pulled from the game, and it wasn't quiet, subtle, or behind the scenes. It happened live, right in front of millions. And no, this wasn't some simple rotation adjustment or tactical break. This was the basketball version of go sit down and rethink your entire approach. But don't get it twisted, this wasn't your average bench moment. This was a full-blown center stage spectacle. The kind of drama so perfectly timed, it felt like the basketball gods were munching popcorn, kicked back, watching ESPN like it was the season finale of Real Housewives, WNBA edition.
Why, sports supporters? Well, I told you guys there would be a follow-up video on the nuclear fallout. That's exactly what it's been. Over the take foul, as Caitlin Clark is calling it, and that's a great way to say it. It was a take foul. She was trying to prevent a wide-open layup, although one could argue that she might have missed it anyway, on Angel Reese, and then Angel Reese went absolutely, utterly berserk.
So what sparked the downfall of Queen Ree? Oh, just a little thing called pure, unfiltered fury. The kind you'd expect from a Marvel villain who forgot their lines and decided to improvise chaos. And what triggered it all? None other than Caitlin Clark. Yes, the same Caitlin Clark whose shooting range might as well start in Iowa and end somewhere near Saturn. She committed a foul. Not a technical, not a flagrant. Just one of those routine blink and you miss it calls that happen about 20 times a quarter when ankles are twisting and elbows are flying like it's rush hour in a blender.
Got this little white girl and Caitlin Clark out here busting that flat out, bro. Triple dub. And I don't want to hear none of that stat padding stuff, bro. She had a triple double, and that's just the facts, man. That's just the facts. So I see a lot of people saying, oh, she fouled her hard, bro. It was a malicious play. Man, that wasn't no malicious play. This is a malicious play. Check it out. What y'all gonna say?
But Angel Reese? Oh, she didn't just respond, like she erupted. If there were smoke detectors in the arena, they'd have evacuated by halftime. Let's not sugarcoat this. This wasn't your standard competitive fire. This wasn't two elite athletes pushing each other to greatness. And this definitely wasn't some playful back and forth. This was straight up hostility. The kind of vibe that says, I hope your laces snap during a fast break. The glare Angel shot at Caitlin could have melted a backboard. And the intensity? It made Godzilla versus. Kong looked like an episode of Sesame Street.
I need to talk about the hard foul. Caitlin Clark fouls Angel Reese while going up for a layup. People are making a big deal out of this. And me, I'm looking at it like, look, it was just a hard foul. I don't even think it was flagrant. The only thing that was flagrant was Angel Reese's response, right? How she responded to the hard foul. And obviously you can see there's still a little hate. There's still a little hate out there. But I'm gonna say this, WNBA, lean in on this. Lean in on it.
But here's where it really popped off. Reese didn't just throw shade from across the court. She charged straight at Caitlin like she was trying out for a new reality show called Basketball Battle Royale. And her body language? Louder than a buzzer beater in overtime. It screamed, I'm not here to play nice today. You could practically hear the courtside announcers choking on their popcorn, trying to keep up with the tension boiling over right in front of them.
You saw them play basketball player. Refs got it right. Move on.
And Caitlyn, she had that frozen, wait, what is even happening? Look like someone who just got body checked in the middle of a spelling bee. Because honestly, Clark didn't really do anything, unless simply existing now counts as a personal attack. Sure, she picked up a routine foul, but Angel Reese reacted like Caitlyn had just roasted her shot form, dissed her music, and dragged her grandma, all in the same breath. Then came the benching, and not a quiet little sub out. No, this was the kind of benching where the coach won't even look at you. Just that silent, yeah, we're not doing this today energy. The whole arena vibe flipped from let's go to oh no in seconds. And here's the wildest part. Angel didn't even protest. She sat down with that cold, locked-in stare. The same one you see when someone's just been told they can't bring snacks into the theater. And then the internet lost its mind. Twitter turned into a war zone. Reese's fans were split between she's just fiery and girl, what even was that? Clark's fans, they were memeing like their lives depended on it. Suddenly, the timeline felt less like Wnba commentary and more like a mashup between First Take and Maury. Complete chaos, hot takes everywhere, and no one backing down.
Talk me through your perspective on the flagrant foul. What was the point you were trying to make to her?
It's just a good take foul, you know. If either Angel gets wide open 2 points, or we send him to the free throw line. Nothing malicious about it. It's just a take foul. Every basketball player knows that.
And Angel's reaction: buckle your seatbelt. She didn't flinch, no apology, no soft pedaling. She didn't just stand her ground. She practically set the whole stage on fire. With all the finesse of a wrecking ball and the intensity of a storm, Angel made it crystal clear. This wasn't just a game. This was personal. This wasn't a rivalry anymore. It was a mission. If there's a dartboard in her apartment, you already know whose face is front and center. Everything from her body language to her glare to the way she answered questions screamed, "I'm not done yet." This wasn't that usual high-level competition energy. This was something else. This was a vendetta dressed in a jersey. And if stares could get you tossed from the game, Caitlyn would have fouled out before tip-off even finished. Now let's talk consequences. Because sure, the NCAA likes to parade around words like sportsmanship and respect, but don't think for a second they weren't watching that footage on repeat, sweating through their polos like, how do we deal with this without tanking March Madness viewership? You can't just snap mid-game, unleash a verbal hurricane on national TV, and expect to jog away with a Gatorade and a wink. This isn't the 90s anymore. This is primetime, social media-fueled drama, and Angel Reese is knee-deep in a boiling hot controversy. And somewhere in an office right now, you know a team of NCAA suits is frantically putting together a statement that sounds serious, but not too serious, because let's be real, ratings still matter.
Sugarcoating this is pure hate, pure hatred for that white girl in India. Excuse me, I need to specify, sorry, the one that wears 22 in Indiana.
Her coach? Man looked like he was silently questioning every career decision that led him to this moment. Coaching Angel Reese right now feels less like running a basketball team and more like managing a live wire with a jump shot. At the post-game press conference, he had the expression of a guy caught trying to explain why his phone battery mysteriously died for 6 hours. Nervous chuckles, deep sighs, and the classic line, "We'll handle it internally." Translation: I have zero control over this situation and I'm praying the league steps in before I have to. Meanwhile, the fans were absolutely split down the middle. Half were shouting, "She's just passionate." The other half frantically searching, "Can side-eye get you suspended?" And the rest, oh, they were loving every second of the chaos. Snacks in hand, watching the WNBA morph into the most dramatic reality show on hardwood. Think Love and Basketball, but with fewer love scenes and way more technicals. Let's not pretend this was Angel Reese's first emotional explosion either. She's been delivering primetime theatrics since her college days. Angel doesn't just play the game, she plays like her emotions are being broadcast live on the Jumbotron and someone just read her group chat aloud. But last night, that wasn't just intensity, that was meltdown mode. That was code red with a side ponytail. That was flip the whole table energy in a league that's allegedly built on structure and sportsmanship. She was storming around the court like someone just ruined the season finale of her favorite show. And no, this wasn't your average competitive fire, this was WWE style supervillain vibes. Honestly, if she had pulled a steel chair from under the scorer's table, half the crowd crowd would have just nodded like, yeah, checks out. The only thing missing, a fog machine and entrance music.
Do you like the way your players responded there, just to that moment? It looked like somebody was coming over, talking with Angel, coaching staff was talking with her, help calm her down, make sure that it didn't escalate any further.
Yeah, I think that it's a little misrepresentation to calm her down. I think emotions were high on both sides, and so I think Angel reacted in a way that any of us would react in a moment like that.
Because while Angel Reese was glued to the bench, Caitlin Clark was out there lighting it up like nothing ever happened. That's right, while one star was combusting, the other was casually stacking buckets like it was just another day at the office. Somewhere you could almost hear Nike reps scrambling to rethink their campaign slogans. Scratch the grit. Maybe let's spotlight the calm, cool, collected one. And the sports world? Oh, it was in full meltdown. Suddenly the hot takes were flying. Is Angel Reese becoming a locker room problem? Is Caitlin Clark the only grown-up on the floor? Do the Sky need a therapist more than a timeout? The conversations went from post-game analysis to full-blown fan fiction. Half the takes sounded like NBA Reddit threads on steroids. The other half, like deleted scenes from an ESPN-produced soap opera. And don't even get me started on the behind-the-scenes chaos. You just know it was a circus. Players walking on eggshells like they're tiptoeing through a minefield. Coaches rewriting their post-game statements like they're texting an ex. PR teams probably on their third emergency meeting, trying to spin a meltdown into a passionate moment. Some group chat is definitely in flames right now, but the biggest L of the night, that's all Angel. Because no matter how good you are, no matter how many boards you pull or how many buckets you drop, if your lasting image is a sideline meltdown and a cold, lonely bench, yeah, the memes are gonna eat every single time.
We saw Caitlin Clark become the fastest player in WNBA history to have 3 triple-doubles. Besides it getting a little bit spicy with her and Reese, what did you like that you saw from Clark?
Speaking of spicy, right? I think that was just a no free buckets foul. Now, it was a hard one, and I think the refs did their job, and I'm glad we could focus on the court. But Caitlin Clark, she came in this season as the MVP favorite for 2025, and even though it's one game, you can see that it may not just be all talk. She had a triple-double, as you mentioned, 20, 10, and 10. And you can see 2 things happening. Playing with vets like Wnba Bonner and Natasha Howard, it allows her to not constantly be doubled or triple teamed or trapped.
Versus Clark, they went head-to-head. Let's check out when as we pick this up early in the second. Angel Reese, she's been working on that jumper, and it's good. Some respect on it. Sky down 3 under 10 left now. Clark finds her spot, and it's a green bean. CC beating the buzzer, and then check this out on the Sky bench. Angel Reese is like, man, come on, man. Y'all need to D up. How you gonna let her get that jump? A little shade. Fever up by 13 at the break. Third quarter. Watch Reese under the hoop here. After the miss, this is what everyone's talking about. She gets a rebound, and then Clark comes in with a hard foul. Reese has to be held back as Aaliyah Boston steps in.
Let's be real, this drama isn't fading anytime soon. Angel Reese's meltdown has been captured in crystal clear 4K and blasted all over TikTok, Twitter, and yes, even your uncle's group chat. That iconic mid-scream, mid-charge moment. It's already on merch and destined to haunt highlight reels for years to come. Even ESPN's graphics team is probably pulling overtime, desperately searching for a clip where Angel doesn't look like she's summoning some kind of supernatural fury. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is probably chilling somewhere, casually sipping water and updating her LinkedIn profile to expert in de-escalation and pro at getting hated for no reason. You could tell by the way she didn't even glance back at Angel. This tension has been bubbling under the surface for months, maybe even years, and now it's finally boiled over like instant ramen left too long on a college dorm hot plate. Here's the real kicker. All of this could have been avoided. This game could have been a showcase, a chance for both stars to shine. Instead, we got a live-action soap opera with less suspense than waiting for paint to dry. Angel's fire could have been the spark that lit up the scoreboard. Instead, it just scorched her own bench.
Sure that tensions didn't get too high after the play. Now, with this play, they did call a flagrant 1 on Caitlin Clark. They said that it was unnecessary contact on the play, but I immediately knew, I was like, oh crap, this is gonna be something that goes viral. A bunch of people are gonna talk about it. People are going to make it into something bigger than it needs to be.
So what's next for Angel Reese? Will she face suspension, get slapped with a fine, or be sent off to some Zen meditation retreat with Phil Jackson and a bag of incense? Will the NCAA sweep this under the rug because drama boosts ratings, or will they make her the ultimate warning for anyone who thinks passion means going full Terminator mode mid-game? Only time will tell, but here's the truth. Angel might have superstar level talent, but last night her impulse control was more like a wild YouTube comment section. And that's not just a blow to her career, it's bad for the game itself, because sooner or later, the drama has to stop and the basketball has to take center stage again. Until then, enjoy that bench view, Angel. You definitely earned it. And don't forget the irony here, the cosmic joke writ large across the court. Angel Reese, who once branded herself as the fiercest competitor, the unstoppable enforcer, and the queen of trash talk, ended up talking herself right out of the game. It's like declaring checkmate only to realize you were playing Connect 4 the entire time. Now her fans are scrambling like it's a conspiracy theory forum. She's misunderstood. She's just emotional. The media's twisting things. Please. The media didn't spin a thing. The cameras were rolling, capturing every second.
Indiana Fever just played their first game against the Chicago Sky, and folks, it was not close. It was not close. I remember my timeline being flooded with people saying it was going to be a good dogfight. It was going to be a close game. It was going to come down to the wire. It was going to be a great one. No, it wasn't. It was a 40-point blowout. And it was a great game on one side. On the other side, it was a little questionable. It was a little questionable. But we got to see Caitlin Clark in full force.
The microphones were live. Every Hot Wing fueled fan across America had their eyes glued to the screen. If this was just a misunderstanding, then so was the sinking of the Titanic. And Angel's timing? Absolutely brutal. The game was on a knife's edge. Her team desperately needed a leader. Instead, they got a one-woman show of chaos. Think Unhinged, the musical. Rather than stepping up as the clutch player she's meant to be, Angel decided to become the official chaos coordinator. What made it worse? The deafening silence from her teammates, who clearly didn't want to jump aboard that sinking emotional ship. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark could probably launch a political campaign right now. After weathering that storm of fury with the coolness of a Buckingham Palace guard, she's basically untouchable. The contrast couldn't be clearer. Caitlin's calm versus Angel's full-on meltdown derby. One looked like a future MVP, the other like an unpaid extra crashing drama school finals. And here's the real kicker. The consequences are on their way. Whether it's a suspension, a benching that outlasts her perfectly manicured lashes, or a painfully long character building chat with NCAA's least fun compliance officer, Angel's about to learn that even stars can be dimmed by their own attitude. This isn't just about one bad moment, it's a pattern, and the fans are noticing. The same voices that cheered her on last season are now asking if she's more of a liability than a leader.
And this was hilarious. Look, Angel Reese was pissed. Look at it. She was still going out there a little bit. Look, took the jersey out. Well, what's going on? Look, and the thing is, I thought Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark were cool. But I don't know, man. The way Angel got up, she was like, Look at her. Ooh. I mean, she was getting after it, fam.
But a lot of hate going on out there, and I mean, hate from Angel Reese fans onto both Indiana Fever fans and guys that just want to talk about sports like Robert Griffin III.
She had the perfect opportunity to lift the game and teach young athletes how to bounce back stronger from setbacks. Instead, she turned that primetime spotlight into a showcase of needless drama and petty behavior. And if she's not careful, this won't just be a passing moment, it could define her entire career. So welcome to the arena of public opinion, Angel Reese. The judgment is in guilty of self-sabotage served with a hefty side of unnecessary theatrics. Enjoy your time out and maybe use it to remember that passion without control is nothing more than a tantrum in flashy sneakers.